A starving woman was lured into a car with a steamed bun and ended up becoming a maid at the estate. It turned out the estate was home to a mad second young master. Rumor had it that he had killed his own older brother and gone insane, and no one dared to care for him. The young beggar girl naturally became his caretaker, but the moment she laid eyes on him, she was so terrified she turned and ran. However, she was forcibly brought back by the guards. With no other choice, the girl had to steel herself and return to bring him his meal. Fortunately, he was chained up and couldn't harm her, and so, the girl became the second young master's personal maid. After spending some time with him, she began to feel sorry for the man. So, while he was asleep, she tidied up his room and groomed his face, revealing a handsome appearance. But before the girl could take a closer look, the man, upon seeing the tidy room and his own groomed appearance, flew into an even greater rage and demanded she leave. Feeling he was ungrateful, and in a huff, she ate his spare ribs. Seeing this, the man spoke for the first time, telling her not to eat them. The girl assumed he was just being possessive about his food, unaware that the dish had been laced with a hallucinogenic drug. Sure enough, after returning, she began to act erratically. The estate's owner explained that this was because the man had refused to take his medicine, so the doctor had mixed it into his food. Only someone without an illness would go mad from eating it. But the girl wasn't stupid. Shouldn't medicine for an illness be a sedative? So, in the dead of night, she sneaked into the man's quarters and found the estate owner interrogating him about the location of the treasure. It turned out the man had been framed for killing his older brother. It was all a conspiracy by these two men, aimed at getting their hands on the treasure left by his father. Seeing that he wouldn't budge, they decided to send him to a psychiatric hospital in Japan for treatment, hoping to force him to reveal the treasure's location through medication. Unable to bear the thought of him coming to harm, the girl confessed to him that she was a Communist Party member and could help him. But the man, wary of her background, suspected she was approaching him with an ulterior motive and refused her offer of rescue. At that moment, the girl finally couldn't hold back and confessed her feelings. The two embraced tightly, but the man struck her unconscious with a single blow. By the time she woke up, he had already been taken to the hospital. Undeterred, the girl slipped out of the estate and sought help from her superiors, successfully rescuing the man. However, she was captured and held hostage. Upon learning this, the man abandoned her to escape, only to return to the estate. The villains threatened the girl's life, forcing him to lead them to the treasure. He brought them to a hidden cave, and the moment they entered the room, the villains went mad, though the girl was puzzled, for the room was clearly empty. It turned out the man had secretly laced the room with hallucinogens beforehand. Under his persuasive words, the three villains eventually turned on each other in their fight over the treasure, all dying inside the cave.